The eternal quandary of identity. Who am I? Nobody, a nothing, no one. Somebody, a something, someone. Yes, but is it really so black and white? Who cares? You came from darkness and you'll return to darkness. It's shades of grey, but aiming for the light is a positive and righteous act. But what makes me unique to call my identity my own? Nothing unique about you, sheep. Bear. Everything about you. Having an angel and a devil on your shoulder is unique. But so is talking to yourself, believing we are really here. At some point. If you recall, we got chased by the Bendy demon, and it was Boris the wolf, who we found walking around alive. What the hell? And we've woken up in bed. How long's it been since we met Boris the wolf? This must be his room. Look at that clock. I like that. I like the little arms. Very odd. Okay, looks like some kind of maintenance corridor. It's got overalls hanging up and pants. A bathroom. Haven't really seen bathrooms scattered around, have we? So this looks like the private quarters. That's locked. Of perhaps an employee. Always got to flush the toilet. So let's well, there he is. There is Boris the wolf. This is a living, breathing creature. I mean, we already knew the ink demon exists, but it's already been labelled a demon. Now, we've seen a Boris before, with its heart cut out. So, what is this? Is this the manifestation of the ink machine? When it's given... I stopped on his crotch then. That it not only can it create anything in life-size form or anything at all out of the ink it produces, but also be able to instill it with life. So, yes, this is his little quarters here, which begs the question: is this Thomas Connor's area or Wally Frank's? It looks more like maintenance, so it looks like Wally Frank's. So, is this Wally Frank's? I pose that question to you. Here's the exit, but
I'm not getting out of here that easy. He took on the door, but the lever is missing. Boris probably has it. Hey, buddy, you seen that lever handle around? Or are you holding it hostage until I make you something to eat? I thought so. Let's see what we got.
he doesn't speak. So, I'm assuming he doesn't have vocal cords? Obviously they're from silent cartoons, but they're not from silent cartoons, are they? We know Alice has a voice. So, as technology developed, did they ever give these characters a voice, or did they maintain silence? Now here, this often goes overlooked. Boris and Henry, that's us, Henry, we've been playing cards, so this is not instantaneous. Look, it's even a drawing of us confronting Boris for the first time. Like, oh, hello. We're playing cards. This is a friendly character. We've been here perhaps a night, perhaps 2, probably 1. So let's pick up the cans we need. Don't mind me. Okay, so we've got to cook him some food. There's another one. Oh, hello there. So this, I still believe, is one of the most obscure things still unresolved in this game, I would say. Now, my personal feeling is that if that is Wally Franks, as we can deduce, this Boris character, we know from what we heard in the previous chapter from Sammy Lawrence that he wants to break free of his inky prison. So basically, we know that Sammy Lawrence, the person, is inside, but the body is not theirs. So it's almost like walking around in a husk. Now, I believe the same is happening with Wally Franks here. And what he's doing here is one of 2 things. He is trying to reshape what he used to look like as a human. Okay? You can see that he's taken out the snout. He's trying to recreate the image of what he once looked like. There's mirrors in the bathroom. So he would be aware of of what he looks like now as well, and it's there, I think, perhaps to illustrate that point. The second option is that over the night in which we spent here, he tried to recreate our image, which I find a little bit odd. I think he was trying to recreate his own image, his way of trying to escape his own inky shell. Because Wally Franks might be in there, the character does not have vocal cords, so he cannot speak. So he has to express himself in different manners, in gestures, perhaps like this as well. Let's go get the last tin of soup over here. There it is.
That should be enough.
Make Boris soup. Okay, so it's cooked. Okay. Oh, that bowl appeared. Alright, Boris. There you go.
Here you go.
Oh. Hey, quick movements here. Anyway, he's a friendly character. We've been playing cards with him. Okay, we can trust this guy. Here we go. Little maintenance case, and there is the lever. Everything is pointing to Wally Franks here. Everything is pointing to Wally Franks. Remember the gear icon on the platform. Each one represented an employee. Put the lever in. No, I open this first. Boris has left, but we're not going yet, because if we go back here, right, go over here, I don't think it highlights, but you can actually now pick up the bone. Oh, yeah. Picking up bones. That's what I do. And you can give him the bone. Also something I do. There we go. Give him the bone. That's pretty good, isn't it? So, Tasty Eats. It looks like it's either a storage area or a canteen area. We did notice that there was a stove in there, but it didn't look like a staff canteen, which makes you wonder where that is. Like I said, that was the first time we've seen a toilet as well. You know. And to drive that point home further, here is a little miracle station. Now, these are used to hiding in the game, which might give you a clue as to some of the gameplay upcoming. But this is This is an outhouse. Okay? We've seen no other lavatories apart from that private one. Have these been installed so that people can go quickly without leaving their workstations? You know? It just drives home the oppressive nature of this workplace once again. Okay, gonna head down
Looks
here.
like it's really dark up ahead. Let's find some light.
Convenient flashlight. There you go first. In case there's an axe murderer in there or something. Or a demon. Alright, go on in.
Don't be scared, Boris. I'll keep the light near you so you don't get lost.
Right behind you. I'm going to veer off here. Get that can of soup. Oh, don't worry, no, that's alright. Don't worry about it. I've got your back. He's a very vulnerable individual.
Did you hear that? Yeah, me either. Another dead end. I don't see any other way through. You got any ideas, Boris?
He seems to have an idea. I think we can give him the flashlight. Now he's left us sort of in the dark. You know, we can see the safety, right, how safe Boris was here, okay? Many steps in order to get here. A lot of barriers, the darkness. Wasn't necessarily... He didn't like the darkness, and it seems he's quite keen on getting in the vents. It was left off intentionally. These doors were shut to stop people from coming in. It shows us that Boris has been here for some time and has done very well to survive. And that kind of knowledge of the place could only come from one person. A person who is everywhere in these vents. And that would be Wally Franks. This is what cements him as being sane. Okay, where is Boris? We opened the door, but we don't know actually where he came out. Ah.
Wow. I don't remember any of this.
Now we're seeing the true expanse of Joey Drew Studios. From that humble little top floor that slightly expanded into an extra room, into this warehouse of memorabilia. Look at this. It picked off. Picked off? It picked up. You know, it took off. Bendy, Boris, it all actually took off with the public. Enough for this to be built, for a whole toy line to be made. Heavenly Toys. And you're going to see a lot of heaven and hell references throughout this chapter. And to drive that point home, we're in Heavenly Toys, and we've got some new posters up on the wall. And Bendy is front and centre. And it's no doubt now. The reason for that is because his identity is not the thing being questioned this chapter. No, it's this juxtaposition. It's of the heaven and hell and how it will relate to an upcoming character we're about to meet. So we've got Hell's Kitchen. Over on the other side, we'll see two new posters. Also, Hell Firefighter and Hell in a Handbasket. Okay, quite apparent that they are trying to spell something out here between the contrast of heaven and hell for a very particular reason. And that little golf cart thing, that's a bit of foreshadowing. So yeah, so there's a lot of contrast between the notion of heaven and hell in many forms throughout this chapter, and that is what is quite crucial here.
Another day, another dollar.
And here we got a little bit of a storeroom.
Why is there always something blocking the door?
Ah.
Gotta be a way through.
Damn. We're in this toy factory, a storeroom, and here's a newspaper article Of course, I am reading, of course, from the Bendy and Ink Machine Employee Handbook. Back up some of the game's hidden lore, as it were. Joey Drew Studios unveils toys. Here's the article. On the screen there. Can't read it too well, but I'll read it. Joey Drew Studios has recently unveiled their new toy line featuring characters from the innovative animation studio. The toys will be produced within the studio under the new subsidiary Heavenly Toys. We are thrilled to bring Bendy, Boris the Wolf, and many other beloved characters to toy form, said Joey Drew, president and founder of the company. It is our biggest dream that one day Bendy and his friends will be part of every child in America's day-to-day. The runaway success of the little cartoon devil, Bendy, continues to take America by storm, which now we can believe, given the expanse we are now witnessing. The company even has further plans to expand into apparel, publishing, and toothpaste. Gotta have a toothpaste. To encourage dreams and, almost equally important, proper oral hygiene, added Drew. Heavenly Toys' first products will debut on shelves later this year, just in time for the holidays. The little devil is sure to have parents and children alike lining up outside the toy store bright and early to get a new plush Bendy friend of their own. Now, the picture here, and you may see on the shelves, actually includes Alice Angel, but she's not mentioned in the article itself. Rather strange, don't you think? So let's turn the power on and get things moving. Right. They're trying to move, but they appear to be stuck. Hey, thanks for that. So we'll turn this and it will open up slightly. Can I get in there? I can. Alright. Okay, so I'll read that little bit again. What you just said. Let's see. Where is it? And if he really wants to be so helpful, he could be telling me what I'd be doing with this warehouse I got full of that angel whatchamacallit. Not a scrap of that mess I'd be selling. Probably have to melt it all down to be rid of it all. So Angel is not taking off. Thank you. Angel is not taking off. It's not... The character isn't working. The merchandise, that's why I've seen a lot of it here. Maybe that's the reason it's not mentioned in that newspaper article. Something is fundamentally wrong with the character, and it's not clicking with audiences. We can change this blob. There are a few Easter eggs linked to this blob. We are not, for narrative purposes, going to explore them, but I will point them out throughout. But now the path is open to us. Okay. She's quite a gal. Now, I will go further in, but right here is a poster. Alice Angel in Siren Serenade. Now, you may be familiar with the mythological siren. Sirens were dangerous creatures that lured sailors with enchanting music and singing voices onto the rocky coastlines. They could even be said to charm the winds. Winds often associated with change. So, you know.
Let's see if you're worthy to walk with angels.
Well, she seems to have made her star appearance. Alice Angel, and you may have noticed, looking a little bit more humanoid-like than perhaps some of the other characters we have met, particularly Boris. So, Alice Angel. And there is even a newspaper article about Alice Angel here. Joey Drew Studios debuts Alice Angel. Joining the ranks of beloved cartoon characters Bendy and Boris the Wolf is Alice Angel, the newest character at Joey Drew Studios. It has always been part of our plan to bring a dynamic, strong, and intelligent character like Alice to the table, said Joey Drew, president and founder of the company. Alice isn't your typical girl next door. She's a character with charm, but brains too. When Bendy is getting up to something, Alice is there to throw a wrench into his schemes. As the first female character for Joey Drew Studios, Alice Angel certainly has a lot to live up to. We asked Joey what kind of gal Alice Angel would be. What kind of gal? Well, she's quite a gal, said Joey Drew with a wry smile. She sings, she dances. We think Alice's fiery, sharp character will really resonate with Bendy fans, and we're excited to introduce her to our animation, cartoons, and merchandise. That didn't go well. Alice Angel merchandise will be available next year through Joey Drew Studios' upcoming toy line, Heavenly Toys. She will be voiced by actress Susie Campbell. That's a name we're going to hear again. Okay. Upside down. A new pathway is open to us. And here we have a choice to make. Anyone saw my introduction video may have noticed the demon and the angel upon my shoulders. So we have a demon path and we have an angel path. Now, we will be taking the angel path for narrative purposes, but I'm going to tell you what is down the demon path, and I will read that diary entry you can only find there to you. But we are going to take the angel path here because I'll tell you why. Usually, a shoulder angel and a shoulder devil is a useful plot device, normally representing the conscience and representing temptation, respectively. Often used to illustrate the internal conflict of a character. There are two angels with a man. There are two angels with a man, one of righteousness, one of iniquity. These angels descend into a person's heart and attempt to guide a person's emotions. Hermes was told to understand both, but follow the righteousness, much like the path we are about to choose. We must understand both in order to make a full and educated decision, and make the right decision, the path of righteousness. You could interpret that differently. You could, after understanding both, switch the ideals of them around. Full understanding comes true clarity as to which is the angel and which is the demon. But you should always follow the angel's path, unless you're a bastard. So let's go. Dreams come true, and we were confronted with this right back at the beginning of the game, and we interpreted it very differently. With the ink machine, developing characters, developing objects, the idea that we could bring fictional beings to life in some form. Here, it's more about an aspirational dream here. We remember who voices Alice Angel, Susie Campbell, and she was very, if you remember her audio diary, she was so enthusiastic about getting this role, really wanted to make it her own, to the point of obsession, almost feeling like it was a part of her.
Everything feels like it's coming apart. But I walked into the recording booth today. Sandy was there with that Allison.
So there we have it. Susie Campbell was replaced by Alison Pendle as the voice. Now, when you're so obsessed with a dream, for getting exactly what you want, it can go to your head. You become defensive, protective of it almost. You don't want to let it go. As she said, it's become a part of her, and now it feels like that part has been ripped away from her. So she's attached something to her, and it's pulled away a part of her soul. Oh, soul. So now we can see where this internal conflict is coming from. Now we can see why there is a devil side to Alice Angel here. The dreams and aspirations, that's the good side. It's good to have. Good to have a goal, something to drive you and push you forward. When that's taken away, the noble thing to do would be kind of to take it on the chin and push yourself forward in a different direction, perhaps. Or maybe continue down a similar line. Learn from whatever it was you did wrong. But instead, she's left with bitterness, anger, and wants to get revenge, right? You could hear that in that audio diary. If we went down a demon route, or route, but I prefer route, I don't know why, we would have got a message from Joey Drew, which I have in the book here, which sort of goes alongside this, as well as voicing his own ideal towards the creation possibilities and capabilities of the ink machine. There's nothing wrong with dreaming. Wishing for the impossible is just human nature. That's how I got started. Just a pencil and a dream. We all want everything without even having to lift a finger. They say you just have to believe. Belief can make you succeed. Belief can make you rich. Belief can make you powerful. Why, with enough belief, you can even cheat death itself. Now that is a beautiful and positively silly thought. So, first of all, labelling Jojo a demon there, by choosing the demon path. Quite clear, the belief in pursuing money and power makes him seem like a dictator. I've got to be honest with you. And with the workplace conditions and the oppression we've seen in the workplace, that is coming through in more ways than one. This pursuit for a dream, much like Alice's pursuit of this starring role and clinging on to it, much like how Joey Drew clings on to his own aspirations for his studio and its expanding capabilities, and maybe that is why he has invested so much in this ink machine, enough to cheat death. Now, I don't think that is to be taken as Joey Drew has died and wants to be resurrected. What I do believe that means, we've seen the caskets of people. I think it's just more of a hint towards the idea and cementing the idea that these are real people, or the souls perhaps of people that existed here, now imbued in inky form with the characters that the ink machine can generate. Joey Drew and his ink. Yeah. Okay, push forward here. Long corridors. Oh!
Boris. Oh, you're scaring me to death. Don't suppose you found anything we can use to protect ourselves with.
He's got us a pipe. I stuck that bone in his mouth, by the way. Boris the Wolf. Every animated character needs a best pal, and Bendy has one in Boris the Wolf. Boris isn't quite as bright as Bendy, so he often ends up with the short end of the stick in Bendy's schemes. Through it all, Boris stays loyal to his friends, so long as they don't come between him and his lunch. Also driving home the fact that he is a good character, despite his awfully scary appearance. This is from Joey Drew. When we first had the idea for Bendy, we were so excited, but our little devil got bored quickly. What's the point of a laugh if you can't share it with your pals? We created Boris the Wolf mainly to keep things interesting, but he quickly evolved into one of our company's favourite characters. I mean, can you imagine the joy of wearing overalls every day? Huh? Our animators should know, though. That's... what? There's a lot more to Boris than meets the eye. Is he perhaps a wolf in sheep's clothing after all? Maybe you'll tell us. Oh, ho, ho. I like the mystery there. It's throwing in some doubts, isn't it? Oh, there's actually a little fact here as well, which quite interesting. Fun fact, the name Boris comes from the extinct Bulgar language where it meant wolf. And Boris is a wolf. There you go. The more you know. Let's take this wrench.
This will do.
Oh, pipe. Okay, so storage areas. Ink bubbling on the floor.
Looks like to open this, we need to throw 2 levers at once. You get this one. I'll find the other.
So we've got to both hit a switch to power this one. Why couldn't he bugger off and get the other one? Alright, let's have a little bit of an exploration here. Aha!
Alright, let's go over this again. If the pressure goes over 45, I screw the safety bolt and cut it, right?
No, for the last time you do that, you blow every pipe in this place. If it reaches 45, you unhook the safety switch.
You sure? You know, this sounds harder than comparing earwax to beeswax.
Look, it's not that difficult. Just keep an eye on the gauge.
Look, pal, if you think I'm doing my job and yours, I'm out of here.
So, anyway, so that audio diary took me a while to figure out why it's there. It doesn't really give much information, not gameplay hints or anything like that, really. And then I realised what it was. It's comparing. So a lot of people get confused between the kind of maintenance guy and the janitor. Okay, in this game, and I think that was apparent very early on in the first 2 chapters when they were released. And so when the 3rd chapter was released, I think this was brought in to be to drive home the point that you're supposed to get confused. There is similarities between Wally Franks and Thomas Connor, but this diary actually illustrates their differences. That is their approach, the way they think. And it's quite clear that the Boris we are with is Wally Franks, right? But we could have easily mistaken it for Thomas Connor, and I believe I questioned that right at the start. And even when we put the stuff on the pedestal, I got confused between which one was which. So I will say that this diary becomes a little bit more of a cipher later on, come the next couple of chapters. We already know there's more than one Boris. Remember, we found one with a heart torn out. And we know the machine can print out copies of individuals or characters. We are aware of that. That has already been told to us. But this one we're with, it's easy to have that question as to, if this is someone, which one is it? Because we're not too sure. You know, the janitor and the electrician could sometimes be one job. But I believe this diary was put here to drive home the point that actually they are similar for a reason, and here are the differences. The conversation itself, the way they speak to each other, shows us they're 2 separate personalities, which will be crucial later on. Is it the right one? It is. We don't know if there is a different. We know we can deduce that this is Wally Franks from everything we've had, but you could doubt me and say it's Thomas Connor. This diary is here to say, no, the one you're with is Wally Franks. Because it drives home his naivety. This Boris, where we found him, the fact he can access the vents, he might be able to pull switches and stuff like that, but he knows his way around. It was never confirmed. I believe that this is to confirm that. But because of people getting confused, they used Thomas Connor in that diary to make it clear who it was. But also added some more ambiguity in there as a result, because we're having this conversation about it. It's never going to be clear cut. It's never going to be clear cut. Remember, I'm only deducing things that we see in the game up to this point. Okay. Anyone can work these things out up to this point in the game. Now, obviously, I've played it several times, so no one is expected to know from their first playthrough all these little things. That's what I'm here for. So, we approach a little miracle station with feel familiar. A toilet. And it's telling us, does it feel familiar? I think this is possibly for us, but it could be for everyone. We know that Sammy Lawrence did paint messages on the wall in the previous chapter. He could be the one doing it throughout the game. And we know that he seems to have command of, in some manner, over the ink creatures we have seen. Perhaps this is to drive home the conditions of the workplace that they were faced with, and to get them on his side. Almost like enlisting their help in his cause. Those messages with someone, not necessarily us. He was preaching. Who's he preaching to? Well, the only other things we've seen is these ink creatures. They don't seem to have minds of their own, much like sheep, and he refers to a flock quite often, which also quite a religious term in of itself. The switch is down here, but what is that? The Butcher Gang. So, it looks like we have, in the Bendy cartoons, our villains of the piece. Which puts Bendy in a more of a hero position. Oh. Fell on your face, mate. Let me correct that face for you. Oh, melted. Drained away. I butchered him. Are we going to see the other members of the Butcher Gang, perhaps, at some point? When that Bendy comes around, that cardboard cutout Bendy comes around the corner, that always gets me. Oh, he knows where he's going. Again, look, they're everywhere. These are toilets. And there's an outhouse outside the toilet. Don't even waste your time going in. Go to your nearest outhouse. Here's the gents. Cannot go in, but Bendy's face covered almost gives him the look of the demon version. But this one's even more interesting. The ladies, completely covered over, and from the wings and the halo, it is possible that this was once Alice Angel. The fact that she's been rubbed out. The face has been rubbed out, much like how Susie perhaps lost her job. She was rubbed out. The merchandise wasn't selling, so they got a new voice actress in. They were going to revamp Alice, rubbing it out, perhaps, erasing it. Maybe they were going to can the character altogether. Okay, so we've got an elevator. Or lift.
You're so interesting. So different. I have to say, I'm an instant fan. Looks like you've got a date with an angel.
Ooh.
Come to me now. Level 9. Just follow the screams.
Oh. Ah, so we have descended. How deep is this complex?
Step out of your cage. There's a whole twisted world out here.
Wants us to step out of our cage, much as I'm sure she wants to step out, like Sammy Lawrence, from her prison, the inky prison. And I believe had the same idea. Remember that picture, that drawing of a human on those notes?
These blasted elevators. Sometimes they open, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they come, sometimes they keep on going to hell and back. I keep telling these people, if Mr. Joey Drew keeps cutting corners like this, someone's sure to end up falling to their death. And it sure ain't gonna be me. I'm taking the stairs.
Okay, so this diary is to obviously make another reference to hell. We've got this duplicity of heaven and hell going on this chapter. But also, it just tells us that we've got alternative routes of mobility and traversal via the stairs as well as the elevator. Oh, Bendy. Boris beat me to it. She's quite a gal. So, she has taken over this area. Gonna let us in? Oh. I didn't do anything there. Alright, hold on. Slow down, slow down. They all must be so lonely. We never know how long these characters have been trapped for, do we? No, we don't. But I think given Wally Frank's, or Boris, I will say, given their where we found them, where we woke up, it seems like they've been there for some time. He had defensive mechanisms, as it were, or best he could. And he seems to have been traversing vents for some time, collecting food. And he knew the whole location, so yeah, it's possible they've been here a while. And we're going to see how long Alice has been here. Look at this. I'm sorry. Their hearts have been extracted. Do you mean the creator? The creator has lied to you? Yeah, that could be in reference to Joey Drew, yeah. When they handed over the items. But that's very true, and it can be interpreted that way. If it was written by Sammy Lawrence to elicit people to his side, so that he could worship the Bendy demon as his form of escape, it could clearly be propaganda in order to elicit people's help, much like the other messages we have seen, like Phil Familiar, stuck in a dirty, rotten toilet. It's possible that the ink creatures that we are seeing were the regular employees, perhaps, of Joey Drew Studios, going by the logic that for a creature to have humanoid form, it must have some partial semblance of a soul. We know that key characters gave an item in the ritual. These must be the people that are imbued with the more prominent characters. But look how many Borises there have been. Is this the first Wally Franks? Or is he looking into his past as well as his future? Or a vessel? Yeah, it could be a vessel. But I do believe it is a copy we are seeing here. Because they gave an item over. And that, I believe, is what drives the ink machine to then imbue the soul. But the real person probably still exists. But yeah, they act like vessels for the soul to continue on. Which obviously goes back to life after death in Joey Drew's message in the Demon Path. it seems like
Look around. It took so many of them to make me so beautiful. Anything less than perfect was left behind. I had to do it. She made me.
so. First of all, we had right at the end there. We have some duplicity going on in the character. Is it possible that there is a part of Susie in there, but also a part of Alison, perhaps as well? Or is it just the internal conflict of Susie? Now, I think it is the internal conflict of Susie going on there. She was great, aspirational, dreamlike, innocent. And as she came into an oppressed environment, oppressive workplace, and she had all her expectations met, her aspirations met, and they were just completely destroyed. And she was replaced as well. They may have even kept her on the payroll to do other work she had previously got tired of doing. The character wasn't working. She was to blame. In fact, from Joey Drew to all staff, please give a warm welcome to Alison Pendle, Joey Drew Studios' newest employee. Alison is a talented voice actress with lots of dreams. In her spare time, she loves to cook and invent recipes. I know that as soon as you meet her, you'll be taken with her beautiful voice and charm. She's so interesting, so different. I have to say, I'm an instant fan. Effective immediately, Alison will be the new voice of Alice Angel. We believe this restructure in voice talent will lead to a more cohesive character list and more success for our dreams. Alison will meet with Sammy Lawrence after lunch to discuss re-recording Alice Angel's dialogue. Then I will bring her around to meet everyone. Then there's a little note in the bottom, written in pen. Distribute immediately to all employees except for Susie Campbell. So you can't help but feel sorry for this girl. She didn't make the cut, but she got her hopes up. She got her dreams up. And was immediately the carpet was swept from underneath her, or the rug rather. And you can't blame her for her bitterness, but look what it's driven her to. So there is good there. She is a victim of this place, but now look what she's done. And she said that only pure ones, only good ones, only the best ones are good enough for her. She is extracting hearts and somehow using it to make herself more humanoid. Like this, much like Sammy Lawrence has converted to religion and worshipping the ink demon, this is Alice's way of trying to find her own escape, which is to change, which is quite apt. She couldn't change. She couldn't meet the expectation that was needed for her. So, much like her mind has changed, she's become bitter. Like she thinks her way out is to change. Let's take this little diary here.
Who would have thought? Me having lunch with Joey Drew. Apparently times are tougher than I thought. For a moment there, I thought I'd be stuck with a check. But I gotta say, he wasn't at all what I expected. Quite the charmer. He even called me Alice. I liked it.
So, starting to see how she really built herself up here and was also open to the change of actually embracing this character into her own life. I'm very obsessive. Uh-oh.
Now we come to the question. Do I kill you? Do I tear you apart to my heart's delight? The choices of the beautiful are unbearable. How's a girl to choose? Take this little freak, for instance. He crawled in here, trailing his tainted ink to my door. It could have touched me. It could have pulled me back. Do you know what it's like living in the dark puddles? It's a buzzing, screaming well of voices. Bits of your mind swimming like fish in a bowl. The first time I was born from its inky womb, I was a wiggling, pulsing, shapeless slug. The second time, well, it made me an angel. I will not let the demon touch me again. I'm so close now. So almost perfect. Yes, I will spare you. For now. Better yet, I'll even let you ascend and leave this place.
Hey.
If you will do a few eensy-weensy little favors for me first.
Oh, woohoo.
Return to the lift, my little errand boy. We have work to do.
So, we've met our Threshold Guardian. And we must appease. So, one thing very interesting there is that she said she went through the machine twice. And the first time, it didn't work. But the second time, it did. Now, if we think about it logically, if the voice of Alice Angel was to give an item over for the ritual, and Susie was replaced, then surely Susie did not hand over one of those items. She was probably already gone from the company, or at least demoted. It would likely be Alison that would hand over a ritual item. So did Susie voluntarily put herself through it until she got the character she wanted? And now she's corrupted that form? She actually voluntarily embraced the real Alice Angel into her because she had no other option? Is this what she wants? She wants to live this way. She's not escaping. She's embracing it, perhaps. She wouldn't be one of the ritual candidates. I know that much. It doesn't work. Which explains why she's put herself through this kind of process. Voluntarily. Maybe not why mentally, but why she actually did it was because she was not one of the original people to be imbued into the machine as a soul. She had to do that herself. She was born a slug, much probably like those little ones that we've seen as regular enemies in this game that we bash the crap out of. Which makes you wonder, what is she after? What is going on there? And you may notice the visual appearance there, the kind of two-faced look, almost humanoid on one side, devilish on the other. Her voice was changing, going back and forth. I think her pursuit is perhaps to become the demon itself. Okay? I think she wants to be the Bendy demon, the one the others worship, perhaps. Not the Bendy demon, rather the Alice demon. But the real person there, the innocent person who's made a mistake, is still in there. And that's why we have this internal conflict. She probably used Alice's item and they combined her soul. Now that's probably likely. There's nothing to point towards her doing that. Because we don't know how the items... we had to reenact the ritual, of course. And it happened one Christmas. Joey did it. So it's possible that this has happened again. So I suppose it's possible that if you got the right item, you could do it. But it doesn't explain why we're not seeing loads of different people. Like, for example, Boris is here in loads of different forms, right? There must have been loads of them. They've all been printed out because it's already in there as a template, perhaps. But how one goes about choosing, I don't know. But Alice seems to know. So these people, she has fed people into the machine like she put herself, and has generated these characters, because these characters, particularly Boris, have hearts. They have souls for her to then extract. So she is producing these. These do not come naturally. What comes naturally is the slug ink. Yeah. And with the duplicity.
Hungry. Gather me some spare parts.
Yeah, shared delusions, yeah. But not with Allison. Not with Allison. I do not believe that there is any Allison in there. I believe that the other voice we're hearing is Susie, the person. And what she has done to herself, that is the Alice Angel part, that demon side of her coming out. I do not believe there are two people in there. I do not believe that. Okay, so we got Wrench. We have to find Cogs.
There are so few rules to our world now. So little truths. But there is one rule we all know and respect down here. Beware the ink
Better go overtime for this.
Stay out in the open for too long and he will find you. For if you see him, you'd better hide. If you don't, well, I enjoyed our date. Now, let us begin our work.
The main reason I do not think Allison is in there in like a dual personality is because everything we've seen so far does hint towards internal conflict. In terms of her character, in terms of the themes of heaven and hell that we've got throughout this chapter so far. Allison, we didn't even find out about Allison until much later in that narrative arc of Susie. And after we even got introduced to her. I think that's why. I think it's easy to make that assumption, but I believe everything narratively is pointing towards an internal conflict rather than split personality. Hey! So I believe they are the slugs that was referred to. No soul in sight. Except for me, here, hello. Teapot. Make our way up the stairs, explore the area. Yes, Bendy the demon will now chase us if he is in the area. So be prepared. It's flooded. Keep heading up. Alright. Bacon soup time. Boom. Oh, I'm not surprised there's an outhouse on the stairs. Bloody hell. Takes forever to climb them. I'll be surprised if you need to go to the toilet. Oh, dear. Nearly there, nearly there. Roaming Bender. Yep. Dear, oh dear. Okay. Oh, we can still go up. Now, if I remember correctly, it is bass, drum, violin, piano, drum.
We've all been waiting, but now he will set us free.
So that's Sammy Lawrence, the musical director. Little Easter egg there. Just relaying some of his messages he's put around. He will set us free. So we go up here. Nearly there. Don't worry, we won't be going up and down here all the time. We've got an elevator, but we'll go up once.
Every creak of the floor, every rustle of paper. I wouldn't run so fast if I were you. You never know what will draw him in.
I got very fortunate when I played through this chapter before. These gears were all in really early part of the level, so I didn't have to venture too far. And I got away without any confrontation. There you are, there you are.
One down.
So let's see if we get fortunate again and get 2 in this room. I don't know if there's always 2 in this room. I think we can get some further on.
This one's empty.
If we can get them here, we can get back quick. Damn.
Nothing in here.
Hey. I always swing too early. Yes, great.
That should be plenty. Return them to me. And try not to die on the way back.
Oh, thank you very much. Alright. Now I'm going to run. Not much of a run, but we'll go with it. Thanks for coming up in the lift, Boris.
Said I had talent. He was always a good liar. Still, he was once a very handsome man.
There's some receipts from Joe's Fine Dining. I don't read the whole thing, it's just a receipt, but there is a little note. Welcome lunch from Susie Campbell. She's quite the charmer. And I believe that was the lunch that she had with Sammy Lawrence. So clearly they are not... they don't seem to be aligned, given the response we had there. But it's not totally out of question.
Punching in.
Given the distance they keep from each other, it seems likely that they do not quite get along. So we're going to give back the gear. As I said, this is a typical Guardian request. Now you may notice the angel and heaven obviously has a lot of religious connotations, and we are once again collecting items in threes, the holy number.
Have you seen them? The swollen ones. They're just stuffed full of extra thick ink. It makes me sick. And yet, it's the perfect thing for keeping myself together. If you're gonna catch them, you'll have to learn to move quietly. Come back to my door. I have something that you'll need.
Can barely show up anywhere. Pretty much everywhere except I think this area here. Yeah. Okay, so we are now going to go and prick some inky, fleshy balls. Oh. I think it's... No, I think it's that. Can't say anything now. How are you? You're just standing there. Let me do all the work. Gnawing on your bone. Ah, yes, this is the one. That was not a good sound. Oh! So we're looking for big, inky guys. Who's that? Oh, it's one of the butcher gang. Oh, there we go. Oh, look. Who or what the hell is that? You may be asking. Let's go find out. Gotcha! Haha! Oh. Alright. Ah, lots off. It looked like he had a project. Oh, there's the other one. Don't go yet, don't go yet, don't go yet. Oh, you git. Looked like it had a projectionist device on its head. Projection device. Is it over here now? Or did it go back? I hate trying to catch these things. It's so difficult. It can appear here. Oh, there it is. Gotcha! Aha! Oh.
Makes my skin crawl.
Good work.
But the task is done. Bring me back my equipment.
Why did Boris take the lift down? Silly git. Alright, got to give it a thick ink.
Once upon a time, there was an angel, and she was beautiful and loved by all. She was perfect, no matter what Joey says.
It weren't Joey. Well, I mean, Joey did make that final decision, but it weren't selling. It weren't working. Not only that, all her parts were redubbed over by Allison. It weren't just they replaced the artist, the voice artist. They literally completely erased Susie from existence in that world.
Back to the old grind.
Okay, gonna head up and give her the ink. Splooge the ink into her box. There we go.
I'll make this simple. Look for valve pads. Turn the little wheels. Then bring me their power cores. Please don't make me regret sparing you. I can always change my mind.
Oh, got to take the plunger. Yep, taking the plunger. Time to take the plunge. And get these valve cores. Okay, so level P for plunger. A lot of traversal to different levels in this bit. Collecting stuff. You know, gameplay. There also are some quite cool story elements. Don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me. Oh, that's the third butcher member gone. I don't want to work here anymore. I mean, if that doesn't tell you the drive home that point I've been making since the beginning, with all the clues of how no one wants to work here. People did leave, you know, the toilets in the hallways, the be happy signs, you know, the saving machines with don't forget to clock in because it'll save your job. And they're all pointing towards a very dominated workplace. And we've also compared the dictatorship of Joey, his mentality, almost dictator-like. You can imagine that as a boss, perhaps. He will set us free. So we know these are written by Sammy. Or his followers, of course. Do you notice the body disappeared when I walked around that corner? Nope. We have to go back and watch it. Oh, hello. Bugger off. Let me pick it up. There we go. Woohoo! Right in my face. There we go. The last one should be over this side. I'm just hoping that no Bendy demon makes an appearance, perhaps. Uh-oh, he's here. Careful. Where is he? Is he round the corner? It will by. Oh. Alright, this should be the last one here. Oh. Hey.
Quite the efficient little errand boy, aren't you?
Having to go around doing all this work. Almost like it's making a point of it. These mundane, dreary tasks that we're having to perform. Surrounded by things telling us to... Oh, actually. Surrounded by unhappiness in the workplace. Surrounded by posters telling us to be happy and work hard. But it's a grind for a reason. Right, let's take this back and hope that she has got everything she needs. And then we can go up in this lift all the way to the top. Ascend, as Alice said. Is this coming or not? Oh.
My people knew my name. It's Alice Angel. Feels like so long ago. But those days can come back. Dreams come true, Susie. Dreams come true.
She is maniacal.
Punching in.
Her obsession has consumed her.
You see those grinning demons? Let's remove them, shall we? I've got just the tool to make this even more enjoyable.
So now we're going to see that Alice and Sammy do not get along. Because we are about to destroy all the Bendy cutouts. Which we know Sammy has been placing about the place. Right, this one is tricky. It's probably best to go the furthest away and then come back here in getting all the cutouts so that we don't have as far to go to get back to the lift in hunting these down. Because I do think once you hit the last one, the demon, I believe, does appear in the area no matter what. So no longer RNG. Oh, hello. Oh, axe is very powerful. We're going to go back to the toy factory. I'll run. I know Bendy might appear, but don't want to be here all day, do we? You want to get to the content. Whack that. Whack that. Oh, hello. Boom. Don't think there's any in here. There's none. Oh, none here. But there is a load here, I believe. All right. Cut these down. Right, that's all of them here. Now we can work our way back and get the remainder, which is 5. It's 5. Now, the real reason we're doing this will become apparent.
Always on time.
Clearly she wanted those things because it's part of her harvesting routine. But now she's making us do these kind of errands where it's just... she's being antagonising. So we got that one out here, I believe. Yep. Go from there. One here. That's what Boris scared us with. Here. 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 I believe one more. Ah, it's not here. Where is the last one? Oh, no, I know where it is. It's back near the elevator, isn't it? Aha. Strategically, I left that one to a last. Oh, I'm surprised the ink demon didn't show up. Quite fortunate. Oh, we're running everywhere as well. Oh, there we go.
Now that was fun. Oh, but I forgot to mention. He hates it when I do that. I would hide if I were you.
Well, it is what it is. We're not going to be able to escape something in a minute. Oh, before we go over there is something I need to do here. Secret room.
You see, the real problem with Mr. Drew is that he never actually tells us little people anything. Oh, sure. According to him, there's always big stuff coming, adventure and fame and the like. But I'm the guy, see, who has to make sure our budgets don't go all out of whack just because the genius upstairs went out and got himself another idea. Speaking of which, this is top secret. Apparently, Mr. Drew has another large project in mind now. And it ain't gonna be cheap.
Right, yes, we got that. So, yeah, Grotkein, he's the financier. And clearly the expansion of the studio has most likely caused a lot of issues financially, especially considering some things were hitting, some things were missing. We know it picked up. The news article referred to a storm. Like Bendy has been a storm across the country, but then at the same time, Alice failed as a character. Go back to the drawing board. Probably lost a lot of money there. We saw the merchandise held up in the warehouse. Right. This bit's difficult, right? I always lose here because we can go and get another axe, but the problem is, by the time I reach the axe, I'm always dead. So I think I'll use my usual strategy, which is walking up and down, waiting for it to get. I played all 5 chapters. I have played through the game several times. What I'm doing here is I'm giving hopefully a fresh perspective on the game. Maybe not completely fresh because it's a game that has been theorised over, but I have my own unique way of analysing narratives in games. I just finished a series on Bioshock. Yes, I've done it. Yeah, nice one. That can be tough.
So quiet. like a welcoming grave. I like the silence. Don't you?
So one of the things I've been doing is I've been playing through these games, much like Bioshock, in a manner in which we can analyse the narrative as it plays out. So people who have never played the game can also experience this for the first time without spoilers. I may point towards certain themes, concepts, aspects of the game that might be hidden and may not be seen on a first view through the game. But also that might be stuff that the familiar player might have missed or may have interpreted differently. So if you come back here, there is actually a second axe right here.
Oh, I hate leaving work unfinished. Fortunately, I have you to pick up the pieces. But you'll have to go even deeper. Down, down, down into the abyss. Take the lift down. Say hello to an old friend.
Looks like we're going to meet someone else.
Sending you a little present. A little firepower. Take good care of it. It belonged to someone very special.
Now, I shouldn't be able to grab this.
I forgot. It's a little hard to get a hold of. Oh well. Better luck next time.
So, to get the Tommy gun, you actually need to choose the demon path, but for narrative purposes, for this chapter, and to play in with the ideals and philosophy of the angel and devil on the shoulder, picking the righteous path, or you chose the angel option. You can get the Tommy gun, however, if you bake the ink. There was that little ball of ink that you could transfer into different shapes. If you make that the ink machine, choose the demon path. I believe that's all you need to do. Then you should be able to take the Tommy gun. I don't know if there was another step in that process. I don't believe so. But it's not necessarily needed, to be honest with you. The axe is good enough. You can also get a giant... You can fight a giant ink creature if you make the shape Boris and pick the angel path, which we did not do either. Again, because it's not pertinent to the story. But you can do those. I think you get 3 switches, and they release enemy types. Oh, it's like a challenge room in the toy factory. So we're going to save there. But we are going to meet another character, it seems, another old friend. I was going to point out, she said it used to belong to an old friend. And we know the Butcher Gang are seen with a gun, I think, in one of the posters. But I don't believe that is who she's referring to. It might be the fact that it's called a Tommy gun, because it may have once belonged to Thomas Connor. It's possible. Obviously, that's not why it's called a Tommy gun in real life, but it's a little hint. I do like this section of the game. This is for me the creepiest bit of the game. So here we are. And what are we picking up? Hearts. And she was using these guys. We've seen a lot of them strapped down. She was using these guys to go and harvest hearts. They're holding them in their hands. So the Butcher Gang is Alice's minions. Okay? The ink creatures are Sammy's followers.
There he is. The projectionist. Skulking in the darkness. You be sure to stay out of his light. If you don't want trouble, just bring me back the pieces I need.
There he is. We saw him briefly earlier. Now, if you've got a good memory, you'll already know. Remember, this game, this chapter, really drives home the point, once again, that souls of real people are being imbued in ink form and are now becoming one with the characters. Susie Campbell, that internal conflict, is coming through as Alice Angel. We had what I believe is Wally Franks as the mute Boris. We know Sammy Lawrence is the previous ink creature with the face. And now this, if you recall the name, from the audio diary, and we're going to get another audio diary in a minute to confirm it ourselves, is Norman Polk, the projectionist, the observer, the snoop. He was grassing up, sucking up to the boss.
No, I'm not looking for trouble. It's just the nature of us projectionists to seek out the dark places. You see, I know the ins and outs of this here studio. I know how to avoid being bothered by the likes of this company. That projectionist, they always say, creeping around. He's just looking for trouble. Whether trouble or not, I sees everything. They don't even know when I'm watching. Even when I'm right behind.
Okay, so we're going to go and collect more of these hearts now. Avoiding the projectionist, if we can find them. RNG on our side, perhaps. Damn. Okay. Oh. Just got to stay out of his light. Again, we get that conflict, the light and the dark. The two sides. The duplicity of this chapter. Whoa! Ah, you've seen me. Here. Oh, bloody hell. Shot right in my eyes. Well, that's 2. The others better be over here. There we go, 3. Ah! That's Norman Polk. It's the only part of the game that really creeps me out, to be honest with you. I find it quite intense to play.
Bring them to me now.
Shit. Oh, you bastard! We're actually quite close to the end now. We've escaped. We've escaped of this chapter. Escaped the projectionist, but there's a few little Easter eggs we've got to get. Turn this valve. You may not know that you can turn that valve because it does not highlight. One thing that I've come to realise in this game is, and I've often mentioned and I'll repeat it because it's quite a prominent theme, is the oppressive nature of the workplace and how we're constantly reminded of the conditions here. And I think the ink itself and the way it pours through every vent and every floorboard, and it just drips through constantly. That darkness of the ink is the darkness of this studio's past, and its workers. They're longing to escape. You know, I don't want to work here anymore. We've seen that pasted around. The creator lied to us. Our boss lied to us. The poor conditions are being reflected in the ink. This grinding bit, I think, is also to drive home the condition of the workers that did work here in the studio as well. It's meant to be quite tedious. So this has now been drained, this area. Inside is a diary. Oh, hello. From Henry.
Only 2 weeks into this company, and already it's gotten interesting. Joey is a man of ideas. And only ideas. When I agreed to start this whole thing with him, I thought there'd be a little more give and take. Instead, I give, and he takes. I haven't even seen Linda for days now. Still, someone has to make this happen. When in doubt, just keep drilling, Henry. On the plus side, I've got a new character I think people are gonna love.
Okay, so that is the very first time that Henry, in any way, shape or form, has been mentioned up until this point. Okay, we recognised our desk, but there was nothing on it that said this is Henry's desk. Okay, And the idea of identity in the first couple of chapters was kept ambiguous for narrative purposes. It's still quite important to the overall themes. But this is the first time we're hearing Henry, and the idea that it's give, take, take, take. We've heard Joey refer to himself as the creator of Bendy, and yet everything points towards us, Henry, being that creator. So we know Henry left 30 years ago. Perhaps this was too much for... Obviously, we knew the workplace conditions were bad. Maybe it was just too much. But Henry was one of the few people to actually take a stand against Joey and say, no, I'm done here. This isn't going to continue. You're on your own. The new character he was referring to could be Boris. That is true. I suppose given the chapter, it could have been Alice herself. But I don't think so. I think it is most likely Boris, because Boris was a hit, whereas Alice wasn't. And I think it's quite clear that Henry had good ideas that were harvested by Joey, that when he left, they had to try and make their own characters, and when they created Alice, it failed. So I think it's more likely to be Boris that is being referred to there. Here is the Meatly. Whoa!
What the heck is this?
Having a tea party. Let's drop this axe in her box.
It seems we've reached the end of my to-do list, my little errand boy. I hope you enjoyed our time together. I'll always treasure it. Return to the lift. It's time to go home.
Hey, is there a place like home? So we've learned a lot in that chapter, which we're going to take with us into the next
Another
one.
day, another dollar.
I'm sorry about that, Boris.
Have you ever wondered what heaven is like? I like to dream that it's quite beautiful. A soft valley of green grass, blanketed by a warm sun. I don't think I'll ever get to see it. Are you ready to ascend, my little errand boy? The heavens are waiting.
Give it a rest. What is going on?
Do you really think I let you steal from me? Really think I should let you go? No, Henry. I know who you are, and I know why you're here. And you will not stop what needs to be done. Now come down and bring me back my Boris! It's the most perfect Boris I've ever seen, and I want it! I need it inside, so I can be beautiful again. Don't you understand? Don't you get it? Give him to me. Yes, I'll take him. You're
Uh-oh. What's he doing to my face? Oh. Hello, I am Soul, and thanks for watching Bendy and the Joy of Creation. I hope you're enjoying it, and maybe you enjoyed it enough to perhaps, just perhaps, give it the old subscribe here on YouTube, and perhaps go and see me on Twitch and all those other outlets, let's say. All the links down below. I really do appreciate it. I've got to be honest with you, I really do appreciate it. You got to the end of that video. I hope you enjoyed it and whatnot. Come see me live. Come see me live. We hang out on Twitch all the time. You know, you don't get all the edits. You know, you get all the extra stuff. But yeah, no, thanks very much. I hope you come back and see it again. You know, oh, you got to hit that bell. Got to hit that bell because of the notifications. You never can trust it really. So always best. But there you go. Thank you very much.